My colleagues at the Institute, because I arrived in July, so this work has been developed for the last 3 years, they have considered a methodology actually that reflects this complexity using 4 different pillars. One is about infrastructure. One example of this indicator is, for instance, the percentage of households in a country that actually have a laptop or access to internet connectivity. We have a second pillar, which is human capacity, which is, for example, the percentage of teachers that actually receive some training to incorporate ICT into the pedagogical process. We have also a third pillar, which is about the learning content, that reflects the multifactorial and multisectorial dimension of the process, meaning that the digital readiness of an education system is not just for stakeholders or authorities in the education system, it's also for stakeholders and ministries in many different areas. The third important element in this case, and we will have also a conversation with our panelists in this area, is the importance of collecting rigorous and solid information at the school level. Inside
to be a very big problem because there wasn't equitable infrastructure available to teachers also and also to students also. So because India is a very diverse country and we realized that differentiated infrastructure was available to the children of this country. Some segment of our society, strata of our society, they had
of course, those who have at least 12 and 19, those that are below the average score, are those where urgent policy action is needed. Now, another thing which is important is that once you look at the different education levels, you know that countries, they did demonstrate, they did respond differently for each level of education. Because not only in terms of policies, but they are also can be differently ready to implement remote learning technologies depending on different education levels. This chart shows.
But it just shows how much immersed we are in this data-driven world. And if we don't understand that, we will really lose the benefits, especially our teachers and students, from what the data economy can generate in terms of value. And we're going to discuss that a little bit more later in a panel this afternoon. But during the pandemic, and I want to remember that's not just about COVID, it's about a lot of the catastrophes we are seeing nowadays. If you think about climate change and a lot of the small islands that the UN agencies work with that are having to take people out.
Not in the central list. So different states and UTs have their own freedom to adapt to anything, and they have their different budgets also allocation to them. So the development of infrastructure and its implementation in the classroom will
region. Only 5% would come. And yet the system, which was mainly came from Kashmir, because we were a part of Kashmir, would blame the children for being bad, for being mentally retarded almost. They would say in their own terms like, you children in Ladakh can't do maths and science.
In higher education, that is for the 21st century. And I would touch upon those with examples from what we do at our university. So this is Ladakh, and this is how it looks. Very different from the rest of India. It is -30 to 35, the temperature, life is on glacial melt. Switzerland who visit, they call these their aspirational homes, because there they have to centrally heat it using fossil fuels. Here it is with the sun. High-end resorts, luxury suites, all made with earth and all breathing no fossil fuel, absolutely carbon neutral. Even 20 years before our Honorable Prime Minister came up with carbon neutral Ladakh, we were ahead of our time for 20 years with this carbon neutral bill.
Motivation. These are not new words. About 100 years ago, when I studied to become a teacher, these were parts and parcel of teacher training. We learned about the need to motivate. We learned about self-actualization was one of the key phrases and words. Being conscientious, open-mindedness, empathy. These are aspects that our education system is, if it is even mentioned, are often peripheral to what the school does and the school curriculum does. It's almost as if it happens by chance when it happens. And so we must adapt. We must rethink, and we have an opportunity. We must reimagine education.
Made you think about your own experiences, etc. And that's really the meat of this conversation. So with that in mind, I also, Renu and I would like to introduce you to a couple of other experts who are going to be driving some of these conversations on the subtables. Brian has very beautifully introduced.
That was the time the rain used to be for 15 days at a stretch. And by 2005 to 6, we saw that the climate change. And from then onwards, I started having anxiety issues.
But the sad fact is that this youth is experiencing war, climate change, injustice, etc. So that's why we call our youth, that is 21st century, people of the youth as warriors and not just as a youth, because they're struggling with a lot of issues. Next, this is what our table of content look like behind the story, where we told why, what made us to sign up for this course, what our personal experiences, design concept, uniqueness, and structure of the course. Behind story, Mukund and I both believe that for every motivation or inspiration, there are personal experiences that add value to it. So that's how our personal experience, we're going to share it in a very brief way. My name is Dushma. I was a Teach for India Fellow. I did Teach for India Fellowship cohort 2018 to 20, and I did my graduation in Development Management from ISTM, and currently I'm an Associate Consultant in Strategic and Partnership and a leading CSR consultant organization called Samhita. Now my personal experience is quite aligned to my Teach for India Fellowship. I taught 7 readers in the area of Mankur and Govandi Belt, the area of Mumbai.
Get closer, wait.